Hey kids, Mr. Flar here, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel for another bike review. Today, potentially a controversial one because I'm on another Chinese bike. Today I'm riding the Voge D900 SX, or is it the Voge 900 DSX? Sometimes you see it written in both ways, but on the side of the bike it says D900 SX. Anyway, I recently rode its smaller brother, the 525, and I have to say I was really impressed with that. So really looking forward to having a crack on this bike. This is just my first ride review, just scratching the surface, and what I want to try and work out for myself is, can this hold a candle to competitors? Is this the sort of bike that you would buy instead of one of the mainstream brands? So stick around and stay tuned, I'll tell you what I think. So welcome back to the channel, folks, as I drift into a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. So first thing I could try is, what's the thing like at slow speeds? What's the fueling like? Well, here I am, look, 20 mile an hour, second gear. This is a big old twin, but it seems absolutely fine from the fueling point of view. A little bit lumpy in second, maybe at 20, but not too bad at all. No worse than any other bike that I've been on. Absolutely fine. Actually, just a little addendum to that bit about slow speed riding. I would say sometimes the throttle is a little bit snatchy when you're riding slowly. It's alright when you're drifting along through town, as I just was, but if you're rolling on and off the throttle, like if you're in traffic or something and you're speeding up, stopping, it's a little bit on-offy at that point. So anyway, the Voge then, it's been around for some time and I've been keen to have a go on it. I have seen a few reviews in the past on this bike and they tend to be pretty glowing. So I tried not to watch any when I knew I had this bike coming because I didn't want to be biased by them, but I have to say I'm slightly biased by that 525 I rode before because I was impressed with that, and having only ridden this for the last 5 minutes, I'm already impressed with it. This has got the 900-ish cc engine in it. We'll go through the specs in detail as usual in a minute, but built by Lonsin, the parent company of Voge, and they're the company that make the very same engine for BMW to put in their F900 GS, which I rode about 6 months ago and I really liked. It's also the same engine as BMW put in the F900 XR. Cute little bike that was, really enjoyed that, and it's a perky motor, and I have to say this feels exactly the same. It's really perky. This I've got in sport mode at the moment, but I was thinking as I was riding out to me sort of start point of the review, how does this compare to my GS 1200 in terms of poke? And I was riding that extensively yesterday, and I have to say, even though this is a smaller capacity engine, it feels way quicker than my GS. It's really quite an exciting engine for an adventure bike. Oh crikey, stuck at traffic lights already. Let's do a bit of weaverage. Car drivers love it when you do this, don't they? That's why we have bikes though, folks, to jump the queue. So the headlines with this bike really are that it's a budget price adventure bike. It looks great and it comes with amazing facilities for the price. It's under 10 grand this, and it comes with all sorts of stuff, including radar, blind spot monitoring on the mirrors. I'm sat on a heated seat as standard. It's got heated grips as standard, cruise control, all sorts of stuff that again we'll go through as the review continues. But you know, for that money there just is not another bike in the market that can compete on paper. So, you know, this review is all about, well, what's it like in the real world once you get one in Blighty. While we're sat here, chance to show you I can get my feet flat on the deck. It is quite a tall bike, but my feet are flat on the deck either side, just about. I feel a little bit stretched. I'm 5'8". It does feel quite a tall bike, but, you know, I'm not a big guy and it is perfectly manageable. It doesn't feel particularly weighty, it has to be said. Another standard feature this has, quick shifter, which works really nicely. And not only is it an up quick shifter, but it's a blipper too, meaning you can go down. Yeah, that seems to work really smoothly. Just another word on the quick shifter on here actually, having said it was pretty good. It is pretty good when it's under load, but when you're going a bit slower, it can be a bit clunky in the sort of first and second gear regimes. So yeah, quick shifter, it's great that it's there, a little bit clunky at lower speeds and when it's not under load. Which is good actually, because the clutch on it, if you do use it, is actually relatively stiff. I mean, it's not terrible by any means. It's not Harley Davidson stiff, but it ain't Triumph light. But you know, with that quick shifter, you don't actually have to use that very often. Riding position, as hopefully you can see, classic adventure bike. Set upright, wide handlebars, feet or legs are tucked up a little bit at an acute angle. Feels exactly the same as my GS, to be honest, except the seat is a little bit softer, and at this moment in time is a little bit warmer because I've got that lovely heated seat switched on. Yeah, very, very comfortable place to be indeed. Absolutely no complaints about the comfort on the bike. And then what you're looking at as well, the TFT on here is beautiful. It looks very reminiscent again of one that you see on a BMW. It would not surprise me if Lonson don't make those for BMW, because it looks exactly the same as that on the big new GS 1300. Okay, it's a slightly different shape and the graphics are different, although on some pages they look alarmingly similar to the GS. But it's a thing of beauty. It's not too shiny, it doesn't glare at you, it's just sharp and it shows you everything you want. It's a lovely TFT on here. Switch gear maybe is the only thing that lets it down. It's perfectly usable, but it does feel a little bit flimsy. There's the cruise control switch. That one's just a little bit flimsy for my liking. But I've had worse, I have to say, and it's not terrible by any means. It's easy to use and kind of obvious how you do stuff. And what I do like about it is things like the heated grips and the heated seat actually have buttons on this side of this control block here. So there's no fishing through menus to put things that you use often on, which is brilliant news. So yeah, no complaints about the cockpit. It's a nice place. They filled all the gaps. It doesn't look low quality in any way. In fact, everything about this bike says exactly the opposite to cheap bike. It feels good. Right, let's come up my bumpy test road. Blimey, a lot of gravel on here today. Whee, a little bit slippy there. Yeah, and bumpy as you like on this road, but the suspension eats it up. KYB suspension, if I remember right. Very nice indeed. Right, suspension's good, ride's good. Let me show you around the bike and then we'll come back and talk about it a bit more. Here she is, looking splendid in the sunshine, the Voge DS900X. Now I think that is what an adventure bike should look like. To me, you know, a beak, big screen, bars on the front. I just think it looks great. And this isn't even in the best colour. They do it in a black and gold, which is absolutely splendid. It's called something like the Dark Knight or something, and it looks absolutely brilliant. But even in this blue colour, you can't go wrong, can you? Look at it. Gold wheels, anything with gold wheels, I'm going to love. Let's take a look at some of the details. So these wheels themselves then, they are spoked, but they are actually tubeless, so that's good news. You can see they're branded parts in terms of the cycle parts, so that's excellent. Comes as standard with these crash bars that look good if you want to mount stuff on them, but you don't need to mount spotlights because look, it already comes with spotlights as standard. The front of the bike I think looks great. That light is really nice. If I switch her on, I don't think you'll be able to see it actually in the light because the sun's in the wrong spot, but keyless ignition as well, so button there to bring everything alive. And then round the front, can you see that light? It's got this interesting sort of V shape, I suppose, for Voge that lights up as the daytime running lights. Can't see it very well in this light, but yeah, maybe you can see it a bit better there. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. The dash on this I really love as well. It's really nice and clear. Again, it's quite bright out here at the moment. It might be flickery on the camera, I don't know. But this reminds me very much of a BMW display. It's very clear. And then again, you just turn her off with the keyless ignition there. Well, that's keyless ignition. You do need the key to open this, which is a bit of a pain, but lots of bikes are like that. Alright, let's keep looking around some of the features then. Okay, is it a cheap looking bike? I don't think so. I mean, the fit and finish on it is really nice. The paint seems really nice and lustrous. The welds don't look too bad to me. You know, no worse than any other mainstream manufacturer that you see. The engine, very familiar. Looks exactly the same as the one in the BMW. Comes with a centre stand as standard. You've got all the scaffolding to take panniers, and of course the top box all comes as standard. I mean, that's like a 1,500 quid option plus, isn't it, if you bought another bike. It's got this bit at the back here is actually a radar, rear facing radar, that gives you the blind spot monitoring on the mirrors. Incredible features on this bike for the money. And then if we look right here, you can see, I don't know if you can see in the mirror there is a little triangle just there. Can you see that? That lights up as your blind spot monitoring thing. Switch gear is fine. I suppose that's the one thing that lets it down. This button here in particular, which is the cruise control, just looks a bit flimsy to me. They're perfectly easy to use. You come around this way, you can see you've got switches on the back here as well for heated grips, heated seat, that sort of thing. Anything else to point out to you? Screen is adjustable in 2 positions. This is in the up position at the moment. But yeah, that's what she looks like, and some of the things that you get as standard. One absolutely corking looking bike, I think. Very, very nice. Well done, Voge. Okay, welcome back aboard the Voge 900 on this autumnal day. Sorry it's taken a while to get this video out, by the way. And it looks like I'm behind a KTM rider. I wonder how much he paid for his KTM. I bet it was more than this brand new Voge is. Actually, it looks like a Ducati, I'll take it back. Alright, let's do a right turn here. Oh yeah, he's a multi-strider man. What have we got going on here? Nothing much. Right, down here, this is my favourite little handling road. Engine sounds good, I hope you can hear that. Front wheel goes a little bit light actually when you wind it on. I wouldn't describe it as flickable. You do have to counter steer a little bit. It doesn't feel at all heavy, but it's quite stable in the turns. Which I guess actually it's probably what you want for an adventure bike if you're going to do big miles and go touring on it. And a bit of stability in the turns is the nice thing. You don't want anything too flighty. There's my first white van of the day. Gives me a chance to try my brakes. Yeah, very good on the front and not a lot of fork dive. Let's try the backs. Rears are quite good actually, although I did feel the ABS cut in just then, which was possibly a little bit too easy. Lots of bikes out today, such a lovely day. Chance to overtake the van? Of course I have. Yeah, bag's a grunt. This is a great motor. I enjoyed it in the BMW when I rode that, let's say about 6 months or so ago. I enjoyed it in the XR as well, and it feels exactly the same in here. It's a lively motor. Alright, while I'm stuck amongst all these vans and traffic, let me take you through the specs. Okay, there's the Lonsin made Voge badged engine. It's that 895cc parallel twin, puts out 95 brake horsepower at 8,250 RPM, and is the same unit as the one that Lonsin makes for BMW in the F900XR and the F850 GS. Quality braking on the front provided by Brembo. Looks like 4-pot caliper on dual 305mm discs on the front. On the back, a 265mm single disc, again with a Brembo single pot caliper. Suspension on the front is this fully adjustable KYB upside down fork. I think it's 42mm. On the rear we've got this fully adjustable single shock setup. Seat height is 825mm. I'm just a shorty at 5'8", but I can get my feet pretty much flat down on each side, so it's not too bad in terms of standover. Weight of the bike is 215 kilograms dry, which is pretty on par for the course for a bike of this type. Tank capacity is 17 litres. Electronics wise, we've got this 17-inch TFT. It's got Bluetooth connectivity. It's got a built-in dash cam, LED lighting all round, including those auxiliary lights, keyless ignition we've mentioned, heated grips, heated seats, radar blind spot monitoring, 3-piece luggage as standard, cruise, well that's not electronics is it? No. Cruise control as standard. Basically it's absolutely loaded, this bike, for the money. Talking of money, how much is it? It's £8,999 plus on the road charges, so probably looking at £9,200 by the time you bought it, but that is with absolutely everything, including full luggage. I mean, what incredible value. And just talking about the value of bike, if you think of some of its competitors, the Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro, which is the one that comes closest in spec I guess, is £13,800, so £4 more. The KTM 890 Adventure R, £13,999, so £5 more. And the BMW F900 GS in its most basic form comes in at 12 grand. By the time you've added all the bits and pieces, you're probably looking at closer 15. So yeah, this absolutely blows the competition out of the water on terms of price. Okay, welcome back to the bike. I've gone slightly off piste, slightly different route to my normal test route in an attempt to try and avoid some traffic, but I think I'm probably failing. The roads around these back lanes are absolutely shocking. I have to say, this bike is handling them absolutely fine. Now, Chinese bikes always cause controversy, don't they? People don't like the politics of China, and I'm not getting into that. They say that they can't make bikes, they're made of cheese, the engineering's poor, all that sort of thing. But what I would say is Lonsin make 3 million motorcycles a year. They've been in business for over 40 years, and they do make engines, as I say, for BMW and others. So they do know what they're doing. And just go and look at modern day Chinese city if you don't think China know what they're doing with regards to engineering and stuff. is a country very much that knows how to do stuff, and it can certainly make quality motorbikes if it wants to. And it seems to me, particularly with these Voges, that they've knocked out a bike that feels quality but still maintains that cheap price. Other manufacturers, oh, horse alert, slow right down. Other manufacturers need to be on their guard, because yet whilst 5-10 years ago when you rode cheap Chinese bikes they were made of cheese and they were frankly horrible, that is not the case today. Alright folks, it's the part you've all been waiting for, I know. It's me lugging about test time. Let's see what the bike is like in the real world to move around. Is it heavy to get off the side stand, that sort of thing, and also what's the turning circle like. Let's simulate moving it around in the garage, and to do that I always find my favourite parking spot over here. It's the one with the donuts in. Here we go. Let's shove her in there, see what she's like. Right, first thing is getting her into neutral. Dead easy. I've not had any false neutrals or any problem with finding neutral on here. Side stand down, easy, and feels quite solid. Does come over a fair way on this bike. Alright, there she is. Looks pretty good in the blue, but I do like the black and gold better. Nice looking bike though. I know that's a, you know, very much a personal preference thing, but I do think it looks good. The only thing that maybe lets it down is this sort of bit of conduit here. They put some cables in maybe, but small point. Anyway, we're here to do the lugging about test. Let's just see what's happening with cars around here. It's going in there. Alright, okay, so let's get her off the side stand then. Actually not too bad, not as bad as I thought. And round we go then, full lock, and let's see how she does. Round we come, dragging the stand as I go, complete with my frozen shoulder. There we go, onto the stand there. So actually it was the middle of that space, just to the edge of that one. I've done this loads of times with lots of bikes, and that is quite a tight turning circle. I could tell as soon as I did it actually the handlebars do move a long way, so turning circle very tight, and actually not that bad to get off the side stand. It doesn't feel as heavy as, for example, my GS 1200 does, which keeps its weight nice and low. So I would say this is in the more easier category to move around as far as big adventure bikes are concerned. I'll tell you what, when you do find some slightly larger, sweepier roads, it's a lot of fun, this bike. I think a lot of that is down to the engine, because the engine is really quite lively, as I say. But the bike doesn't feel at all heavy, and the suspension is really nice at soaking up the bumps. This is a terrible surface on this road, but it's great fun ripping around here. It's a shame I'm stymied by traffic as ever. I rode CF Moto recently. I was quite impressed with that, but I have to say this Voge is a jump ahead of that again. And I posed that question, didn't I, at the start of the video? Can it hold a candle to its competitors, the likes of the Triumph Tiger 900, I suppose, of course the BMW F900 GS, maybe the KTM 790 Adventure, all those sort of bikes maybe you'd be considering alongside these. Well, this is so much cheaper and has so many more features and functions, and it does not feel in any way a lesser bike. And also personally I like the looks of it. So I think it 100% can hold a candle against those brands. And if I was in the market for a mid-size adventure bike, I would definitely have a go on one of these. If you're not the type of person that gets sort of brand snobby and worries about the fact that you know, you're riding a Chinese bike before everybody else is, then I think you're going to get yourself a bargain here. Of course, the issue with Chinese bikes is, what is the longevity going to be? How well are they going to last? Are they going to last well in a UK winter? What's the reliability of parts like? Can you get hold of parts? What's dealership support like? All those things I can't answer, and we won't know for a few more years yet. What I can say is that Voge have 20 UK based dealers at the moment and are finding more all the time. And what I've seen on the web, I haven't seen many people criticising reliability thus far, but they've only been around this year, this bike on the market here in the UK, so it's early doors yet. But from this first ride, all the stuff that's important, you know, comfort, can it go well, does it stop well, what are the vibes like, how easy is it to use stuff, has it got all the features and functions that you want? Well, it absolutely scores on everything. The only thing about the bike that I can find, there's two things about the bike that I've found that I don't like. They're minor niggles actually. One is the mirrors can vibrate a little bit at certain revs. You can still see out of them, it's not terrible a vibration, but the right one in particular vibrates a little bit. Minor point, but I'm trying to be balanced about this review. And then the other thing, oh by the way, it comes with full luggage as well, top box and panniers, and they seem pretty good quality. They're actually lined with like a felt material as well, and they're properly waterproof. But the top box is a bit maladjusted on this one, and it's difficult to open without doing a bit of fiddling around. So that maybe belies its cheaper price. But those are the only two things I can find that make you think the bike is built to a price. Everything else about it, if you stuck a BMW badge on it and said it was the new F900 GS, I would be applauding, because it looks fantastic, and honestly the quality as far as I can see on it is no less than any other established manufacturer. I think Voge have played a blinder with this one, and I think we're going to be seeing and hearing an awful lot more about them. Okay, that's it for this review, folks, this first ride review. Hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Until then, this has been the Missed and Flyer. Cheerio.